I lost my faith in the Savior. How could the Lord take away what he gave ya? It totally broke me, I needed her back. Started reading magic that was painted in black. Neglected my duties, oh so slack. Took myself away in my studies, I was wrapped around her. Sadly I lost my wife in labour. That's when I lost my faith in the Savior. How could the Lord take away what he gave ya? It totally broke me, I needed her back. Started reading magic that was painted in black. Neglected my duties, oh so slack. Took myself away in my studies. I got the enemies in the palm of my hand. I'm gonna blow like the ocean, rage like Satan. I sway for revenge, it's obvious and blatant. Abracadabra, alakazam. I got the enemies in the palm of my hand. I'm gonna blow like the ocean, rage like Satan. I sway for revenge, it's obvious and blatant. We came ashore on this island, bare as could be. Then I saw a spirit confined in a tree, screaming, howling, please set me free. Don't we all just wanna be free? Together we control the earth and the sea. But first things first, you answer to me. Then I came across this half of a man, deformed in his shape, called Caliban. Showed us around the whole island. Fresh springs, brine pits, barren place, fertile. This was a relationship that was worthwhile. Taught him my language, showed him a new style. Then one day he got brave, tried to take advantage of Miranda in the cave. That's my baby girl, I lost it with rage. From that day Caliban became my slave. Abracadabra, alakazam. I got the enemies in the palm of my hand. I'm gonna blow like the ocean, rage like Satan. I sway for revenge, it's obvious and blatant. Abracadabra, alakazam. I got the enemies in the palm of my hand. I'm gonna blow like the ocean, rage like Satan. I sway for revenge, it's obvious and blatant. 12 years past, we're still here. Miranda's older, afro hair. This life that I've carved out, it's not fair. She's searching for truth, daddy, what's out there? The hours now come, so all I bear, it breaks her heart. I wipe her tears, I look into her eyes, I see she's wise beyond the years. I need to let her go, but that's my biggest fear. I just got news that my enemies are here. They're gonna feel my wrath, I've waited 12 years. I sway for revenge, I swear. Repent your sins or you die right here. I'm messed up, twisted, haunted, confused. I've captured, tormented, enslaved and abused. I'm broken, I'm crying, inside I'm dying. I long for forgiveness and God knows I'm trying. Abracadabra, alakazam. I got the enemies in the palm of my hand. I'm gonna blow like the ocean, rage like Satan. I sway for revenge, it's obvious and blatant. Abracadabra, alakazam. I got the enemies in the palm of my hand. I'm gonna blow like the ocean, rage like Satan. I sway for revenge, it's obvious, it's blatant. Yeah. Tempest. You is there more toil? As if you were dismayed. Go release them, Ariel. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. True, mine would be here, confined by human. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. Let your indulgence set me free. Their senses I'll restore, and mine shall, and they shall be themselves.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Intermission Youth's Monologue Slam. We are live. Woo woo! Right, we've got an exciting evening of monologues lined up for you from some of our amazing youth and graduate members. But before we launch into the entertainment, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the work we do and how we've managed to keep our young people uplifted and engaged during these uncertain times. If you're new to the work of Intermission, a very extended welcome to you also. So thanks to our incredible supporter of friends, and many of whom are in the house tonight, or shall I say in your house tonight, and industry professionals and amazing sponsors, we've been able to launch an extensive online program for our young people, including Q&As from our patron, Naomi Harris, renowned theatre critic Libby Purvis, the Royal Court's artistic director Vicky Featherstone, and also EastEnders Rudolph Walker, aka Patrick Truman, amongst others. We have also launched an online series of workshops ranging from movement to mindfulness, a midweek Zoom hangout for our young people where they come out on Zoom and hang out, and a weekly exploration of the Tempest. And watch this space for our reimagined version later on in the year. But the most important thing that I think we've been able to offer our young people during these uncertain times is contact. Being able to offer a listening ear, being on the end of a phone 24/7 for our young people, and helping them to find ways to support themselves and for us to support them in these uncertain times and in their times of needs. Now, just a quick brief introduction about Intermission. We have quite a few strands to the work we do. One of those being our Intermission Youth Theatre, where we engage young people from the age of 16 to 25, and we work with them throughout the year on drama and Shakespeare. And we use drama and Shakespeare as a tool to raise confidence, self-esteem, and to help them to become better versions of themselves. And in return, of course, they help us to become better versions of ourselves too. We also have a community engagement program where we go into schools and prisons and pupil referral units. And we have our exciting graduate theatre company as well. But as we go on throughout the evening, you'll find a little bit more about the work we do. And you can also go on our website, www.intermissionyouththeatre.co.uk, to find out more about that. So, on to the exciting part of the evening. So this is how it's going to work. There are 8 performers, and they will each perform a Shakespeare monologue or a Shakespeare-inspired monologue for you, our audience. And then they will receive feedback from our amazing panel, whom I am going to introduce to you now. So first, I'd like to introduce the amazing actor, Jenny Agutter, and you may recognize her from Call the Midwife, or for the more experienced members of our audience, the Railway Children. And not only is Jenny a fabulous actor and has performed, I'm sure in her time, a few monologues, she is also a wonderful friend and supporter of Intermission, and we're very pleased to have you on our panel, Jenny. So thank you. Next, we have Papa Essiedu, and Papa is an actor and a wonderful one at that. I had the fortune of first seeing Papa perform in Hamlet for the RSC, and it was an amazing performance, etched in my memory, one of the best I've seen actually, of Hamlet, although you may be in for a run for your money tonight, because we have Hamlet on the list from one of our young people, Papa. And actually, we brought some young people down to see your version of Hamlet, and for some of them, it was the first experience of Shakespeare, and what a wonderful experience it was, so thank you for that. You can also see Papa in Gangs of London on Sky Atlantic, but for tonight, we are pleased to have him in Intermission's gang. So thank you, Papa. And last but not least, we have the amazing Abigail Swell. And Abigail is a director and also a graduate of Intermission Youth Theatre. And what a force she is. I've seen Abigail smash the industry this year with her directing skills. You may have seen I Am Not Kanye West at the Bunker, a very bold and exciting piece of theatre. And so we're very pleased to have her expertise with us on the panel as well. So welcome, Abigail, and look out for her. She's going to be doing amazing things. Right, so that's our panel. I suppose I've got to do a few house rules and regulations and some safety announcements. So the first thing, in the unfortunate event of a fire, I imagine I have to ask you to leave your house. And the other thing, toilets will be situated in the last place you used it, hopefully. So that's out of the way. Now, on to the most exciting part of the evening, which is our wonderful performers. But before we get into that, there's one more thing I have to notify you of, which is our Q&A. So you, the audience, have the opportunity to ask our wonderful panel any questions you may have. And you will see at the bottom of your screen a Q&A box. So if you just jot your questions into that box, and after all the performances, we will try to get as many of them answered as possible. Actually, we also have in the house tonight, or in his house, our wonderful friend and supporter and newly appointed trustee, actor Mark Rylance. And some of you may know Mark from a low budget film that he was in, I think Bridge of Spies, with a a relatively unknown director attached, I think Steven Spielberg or something. And Mark received a very small award for his contribution to that film. I think it was an Oscar. But Mark will also be available to answer some of your questions as well at the end of the show. So if you've got any burning questions you'd like to ask our panel or Mark Rylance, then please do put those in the box. And like I said, we'll get as many of those answered as we can. And tonight is live, which means that everything will go exactly how it's supposed to go. And that is one thing that is guaranteed. So without further ado, we're going to move on with our first performer, who is a current member of Intermission Youth Theatre, Destiny. And Destiny has said about her experience of lockdown that it has been overwhelming at the start, but it has been a good time for self-reflection and self-care. And getting prepared for the Monologue Slam has been a creative focus and an opportunity for her to share her interpretation with others. So we're going to go and join Destiny now in her space. Destiny is going to be performing a piece from the Comedy of Errors, the character Luciana. And as she just gets herself ready, I'll just put the speech into context quickly. So Luciana believes her brother-in-law is being unfaithful to his wife, her sister, and has some choice words to share with him. Controversially, she feels that if he must betray his wife, he should at least do it secretly. I know. Well, let's at least hear her out. Over to you, Destiny, when you're ready.
I'm sorry, what? Hold on 1 second. And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office? Shall, Antipholus, even in the spring of love, thy love springs rot? Shall love in building grow so ruinous? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake use her with more kindness. Or, if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Look sweet, speak fair, become disloyalty. Apparel vice like virtue's harbinger. Bear a fair presence, though your heart tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret, false. What need you be acquainted? What simple thief brags of his own attaint? 'Tis double wrong to truant with your bed, and let her read in thy looks outboard. Ill deeds are doubled with an evil word. Shame hath the bastard fame well managed. Alas, poor women, make us but believe, being compact of credit that you love us. Though others have the arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move us. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain, when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Brilliant, amazing. Thank you very much. That was Luciana from Comedy of Errors by Destiny. So we're going to go over to our panel now and get some feedback on that. Wow, that was amazing. Well, I'm going to come to you, Abigail, because I know that Comedy of Errors was your first production when you joined Intermission that you were involved in. So what did you think of that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. We can hear you.
There we go. Great. Well done, Destiny. I think you absolutely smashed it. You smashed it. And obviously you're up first, you're live as well. So I know the pressure's on, but I feel like you totally owned the character. The words felt like completely your own. And obviously Luciana's, you know, she feels like quite a modern woman. She like really like reclaims like what is the expectation of a woman and of a wife, and I feel like that was just totally on point. So well done.
Thank you so much, Abigail.
Brilliant, thank you, Abby. Jenny, have you got anything to add?
I was so delighted by what you did, Destiny. It's really, really lovely and just completely honest and completely, it just feels completely modern. I don't know whether I could take you anywhere else with what you're doing. Because you're so rich, you can let yourself explore different ideas as they come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the audience are just going to stay with you, because what you do is really holds the attention so wonderfully that you can just stop and take them with you in all the different ways that you're going. I just thought it was beautiful. Thank you.
Jenny.
What amazing feedback. Well done. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Well done, Destiny. That's amazing. How did you feel?
Yeah, it felt good. I felt it's the most comfortable that I've done it so far. So that's always good. I think that's just trusting the process, as Nana always says, you know, eventually getting there and it kind of marinates and sits. So I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
Amazing. Well done. Well done. Thank you very much, Destiny, playing Luciana. Okay, we're going to move on now to our next performer. And that is Dilip. So we're going to go and visit Dilip in his space. And of lockdown, Dilip is currently working at home, helping the family and looking for work. And on Monologue Slam, his experience getting prepared for today has been challenging at times, because it's really hard for him to rehearse at home, especially when trying to find a quiet place. Other than that, it's been refreshing to get back into the swing of acting. So Dilip is going to be playing the role of Macbeth from Intermission Youth Theatre's rendition of the play HMP Macbeth. And just to put this into context for you, Officer Macbeth is pressured by his lover and inmate, Lady Macbeth, to fulfill a prophecy of becoming governor of the prison. However, it means murdering the current governor, Duncan. Does he have what it takes? We shall find out. Over to Dilip.
Is this a dagger I see before me? Oh my days, friend. The handle's towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. Thou art a dagger of the mind. A false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain. But I see thee yet again, in form as palpable as this, which I now draw. I get it. You're trying to lead man for sure to that place I was already going before. So you use an instrument just like you. It's true, and yet I can't stroke you, touch you, feel you, but still see you blushing red. Redder than before. Blood dripping on the floor, which was not so before. It is the bloody business which thus informs my eyes. Well, I'm tripping for sure. I can't do this no more. I quit. Hear not my steps as I walk to that promise I regret. Oh shit, I'm losing it. No, I'm losing it. I can't lose it, but I'm losing it. The more I stand here debating, the more my courage is diminishing. I fix up. You need to do this now if you're to finish him.
Wow. Wow. You could take a moment to come out of that, did it?
Yeah.
Well done, well done. Okay, we're going to go over to our panel and see what they think. Papa, I'm going to come to you, sir. What did you think of that?
Yeah, well done, Dilip. That was a really brilliant effort, man. What an imaginative take on such an iconic speech. So you really took me into the world of what your character was going through there. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a real kind of Robert De Niro taxi driver type quality to it. You know, that bit where he's like, "You talking to me" type thing. It's a similar thing. I think Scorsese's drawing on similar themes to what Shakespeare was. So yeah, I thought you had a great intensity under it. And yeah, I really felt the conflict, the internal conflict that the character was going through. Particularly enjoyed moments where you kind of like allowed yourself to find simplicity. You allowed yourself to take a breath and to just say the lines. Especially, that worked especially well towards the end of the speech. So when you said, do it now if you're to finish him, there was just like a simplicity to the way that you're saying it. And sometimes it's interesting, being more simple can actually be more effective in communicating lines than if we add a lot of business to it. So I really enjoyed the bits where you found simplicity, and would encourage you to kind of trust in that in the future. But really well done.
Brilliant, amazing. Dilip, any thoughts, any response from you? How did that feel?
Yeah, it felt good. Yeah, obviously the pressure was on, but you know, I tried to treat it like any other sort of take that I've done so far. Now I found it really interesting, you know what I mean? Because obviously it's about the inner conflict, and it's not just about the situation where he has to kill someone, or you know, it's about that situation where we can all apply to our lives. Because how many of us can stand here, especially in the audience, and say that we've not been conflicted to do something or not to do something and to follow our desires, and you know, have that fear sort of stop us, and how confused we can get, and especially during lockdown as well. You know, can you imagine like how many people are in, you know, in a negative state right now, and sort of on their own, and you know, just like Macbeth now, sort of visualizing a dagger, and in a sense sort of talking to himself. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't really have that sort of support. Like Macbeth doesn't have that support from Lady Macbeth or anybody else. So he's obviously talking kind of to himself, and just think about how many people are kind of in that situation right now. So for me, it was more of like a relevance, you know what I mean? This is so relevant for now. So that's my thoughts on it.
Brilliant. Wicked, Dilip, man. That's a great way to look at it as well. And I think a lot of what you said, we saw in the speech. But a fantastic performance, sir. And Robert De Niro, eh? Bloody hell. Put that on your CV and run with it, mate. Fantastic. Well done. Thank you, Papa. All right, we're going to move on to our next performer now, who is Ashley. And just going to tell you a little bit about Ashley and how she's been coping during this period. So she says during lockdown, she's been working full-time for the NHS. So massive thank you to you, Ashley, and all your efforts in keeping us safe. That's incredible. And during lockdown, she says that it hasn't affected her that much due to the fact that she's still working and still acting over Zoom with Intermission, but it has made her want to cherish life more. And I think a lot of us would share that thought of yours there, Ashley. So Ashley is going to be performing Helena from Midsummer Night's Dream. And just to put the speech into context, Helena believes that her best friend, Hermia, is involved in a joke that she believes two men are playing on her, and is furious with her friend for treating their friendship so lightly, and she wants some words with her. Let's see what she has to say.
Marcia, me can't believe it. Me say me can't believe it. Lo, she is one of this confederacy. Now I perceive they have conjoined all three, to fashion this false spot in spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired? Have you with these contrived to beat me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent when we have tried the hasty-footed time for parting us? Oh, is it all forgot? Our school days friendship? Childhood innocence? Hold on, let me talk. We, Hermia, like two artificial gods, have with our needles created both one flower, both upon one sampler, both sitting upon one cushion, both wobbling upon one song, both in one key, as if our hands, our sides, voices and minds had been incorporate. So we grew together like to a double cherry, seeming parted, but yet an union in partition. Two lovely berries, molded upon one stem. So with two seeming bodies, but one heart. Two of the first, like coats in hell dry, drew but to one and crowned with one crest. And will you rent our ancient love asunder to join with men in scorning your poor friend? Hermia, let me tell you something. It is not friendly, it is not maidenly. Our sex as well as I may chide you for it. So I alone do feel the injury. Marcia, let me call you back later, okay?
Thank you, Ashley. Brilliant, wonderful, wonderful. So Marcia, she said, but call you back later. Midsummer Night Dream goes to the Caribbean. Amazing. So we're going to go to our panel to see what they made of that. Jenny, I know that you've recently come back from Tobago, so I'm going to come to you and hear what you have to say.
I love the sound of it. It was so musical hearing it like that and so real. And yeah, sisters, hey, we got to stick together. It was really lovely. It was beautifully devised. It was a wonderful way to present it. You created an absolute character in there. I don't know what I can say to take it any further. You can also probably take time with things. When it suddenly changes direction, when you realize that you can kind of get round with two berries and all of that, just lovely to feel you saying those things to seduce something. You're bringing her back to something that you felt together. But it was beautifully expressed. And as I say, it had a wonderful musical feeling to it. Oh, so well done. Thank you very, very much for that.
Wicked, wicked. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Abby, anything to extend onto that?
Yeah, congratulations, Ashley. Well done. You killed it. I loved the take and it felt really unique and fiery and just original, like a version that I've never seen before. And I love how obviously we're here performing on Zoom. You took it to the digital as well and made it feel all the more relevant with that as well. I think it would be lovely to think about the vulnerability of the character because I mean it's I don't know, sometimes there's this facade, isn't it? You know, like your friend has betrayed you, your friend has hurt you, you might want to feel like you just want to lash out. But I think just to find a change, you know, she also has been, well, she thinks she's been betrayed. And I think there's also something about a low self-esteem for her there to not think that two men possibly like her. So, you know, I think that would be an interesting way to look at it as well. Well done. Smashed it.
Thank you.
Ash, you got anything you'd like to say to our panel or any questions? How did it feel?
No, not really.
How did it feel? I know you was pretty nervous coming into this, wasn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was nervous because I'm not used to doing accents. So just trying to change it into something like that was nerve-wracking for me, but still an achievement. So I'm still happy about I did it.
Yeah, brilliant achievement. And for what it was worth, I thought you pulled off the accent brilliantly. So well done.
Thank you.
All right, brilliant, cool. We're going to move on then to our next performer, and that is Elijah. And Elijah is current member of Intermission Youth Theatre. So we're going to go and visit Elijah in his space. On lockdown, Elijah says he has been applying for drama school, art production, commissions for writing, etc., and trying to stay productive. He says COVID-19 has put a lot of plans on pause, leaving him in a grey area of unknown and uncertainty. But the monologue slam preparation has helped him to stick to a routine and help keep him creative by acting and relit a spark in him and giving him a sense of certainty and clarity in a time where many things are up in the air. So Elijah is going to be performing a piece from the Two Noble Kinsmen, and he is playing Arcite. I'm just going to put his speech into context. So with the news that he will be spending a lifetime in prison, Arcite suggests to his cousin they view their imprisonment as a holy sanctuary that will save them from the worldly woes and temptations. So let's see how he gets on with that.
Let's think this prison holy sanctuary to keep us from corruption of worse men. We are young and yet desire that liberty and common conversation, the poison of pure spirit might, like women, to woo us yonder from. What worthy blessings can be that our imaginations may make ours? And here being thus, we are in an endless mind to one another. We're one another's wife. Never forget new births of love. We are friends, fathers, acquaintances. We are in one another families. I am your heir, and you are mine. This place is our inheritance. No hard oppressor dare take this from us. With a little patience, we will live long and love it. No surfeit seek us. The hand of war hurts none here, nor the sea swallow their youth. Were we at liberty, a wife may part us lawfully, or business, quarrels consume us, envy men may crave our acquaintance. I'm my second cousin, and you should never know it, and so perish up your noble hand to close mine eyes. All praise to the gods. 1,000 chances were we from hence would sever us. And another thing, hop online, cuz you beat me last time. I can't let that slide. Hop online right now, cuz you need to run the ones with me. Come on, you owe me this, cuz. Come on, G, let's do this now. Come on.
Brilliant, thank you, Elijah. So what are you saying? They got PlayStations in prison now, yeah? You're living good, bro. Playing FIFA on lockdown, nice. Brilliant, well done, man. Making a positive situation out of something negative. I think that's something we can all probably relate to at this present time. I think a very relevant and current speech. We're going to go to the panel now, some feedback and see what they have to say. Papa, I'm going to come to you. The Two Noble Kinsmen, not a very familiar speech, a play, sorry, of Shakespeare's, not done often, but what did you make of that?
Yeah, man, it's a great speech as well. And Elijah, you smashed it. Seriously, I thought that was such a refreshing and confident take on that speech. You're brimming with confidence and charisma and charm, and like you're warm and it's really likable, you know, and like you can't really teach that, you know. So like I think it was a really, really like courageous choice to make, you know, because it's like Darren said, there's not many people are familiar with this speech, and yeah, you really did it justice. And yeah, I just love the fun that you were having with it, because you really made it yours. You made it come out of your own voice, you know, and you enjoyed it, which meant you enjoyed the language and you felt in control of it. So well done. The one little tip that I might give you is that the next time that you do it, maybe think about the cost that there is of saying these things, or the idea that what you say might not work. So you might suggest one thing and it might not work on your cousin. And that's the reason that you go on to say something else, suggest something else, you know? So there's a chance that what you say might not land. So allow that to affect the way you move on to the next thought. But you're definitely in a great place. So keep going, mate.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Brilliant. Nice. Elijah, how did it feel, man? Anything from you?
So literally before I did my speech, I was hella nervous. My heart was doing.
The iambic pentameter, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I just I used that nervousness and just kind of ran with it and just kind of use it as excitement and transfer it into the speech and just have fun with it. So yeah, it felt really good. It felt natural.
Brilliant. Well, that's amazing. Well done. And what a way to end the first half. I think that is brilliant. So thank you very much. So now we are going to have an interval and just give you an opportunity to stretch your legs and get a drink. And I will say this, we're feeling very generous tonight. So the drinks are absolutely free. Go into your fridges and please do help yourself to as much drink as you want. And we will be back in 10 minutes.
You're taking the mic.
Second half.
You're taking the mic, Darren.
Thank you very much.
Darren's taking the mic.
Thank you.
Intermission Youth was set up in 2008 by Rob and Janine Gillian and Darren Raymond. It has supported hundreds of young people from challenging backgrounds through drama and mentoring. Intermission Youth runs community programs in prisons, schools and pupil referral units. During this pandemic, we have continued to work on exciting projects with our current cohort and graduates. We appreciate our supporters helping us to continue our work. Please feel free to make a donation.
thoughts and I begin to rush. Wild and ill-mannered, with no place to hide. Now I see I'm not alone in this life. So let this smoke fill my lungs and choke me till I go numb. Yeah, baby, let this smoke fill my lungs and choke me till I go numb. I go numb. Let this smoke fill my lungs and choke me till I go numb. Yeah, baby, let this smoke fill my lungs and choke me till I go numb. Till I go
Intermission Youth Theatre Productions. Who you know remix Shakespeare like we. 20 years have I gone in travail of you, my sons. I am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks a
dumb.
Indy! Yo, this is Scanner. Now you have it. It's a rap. That's a rap. Comedy of errors, boy. Start of the year, you denied it could happen. Why were you denying it? You stuck with it. Double trouble, boy. Yeah. Shout out to the whole crew. Too much names to mention.
Bosun! Hey, master, what ya? Remember who thou hast aboard. No more amazement. Tell your piteous.
Intermission Youth was set up in 2008 by Rob and Janine Gillian and Darren Raymond. It has supported hundreds of young people from challenging backgrounds through drama and mentoring. Intermission Youth runs community programs in prisons, schools, and pupil referral units. During this pandemic, we have continued to work on exciting projects with our current cohort and graduates. We appreciate our supporters helping us to continue our work. Please feel free to make a donation.
Welcome back for the second half of the Intermission Youth Monologue Slam. We had an exhilarating first act with some wonderful performances from our wonderful youth and graduate members, and the second half promises to be just as good. So before we start, I should tell you that if you would like to support the work of Intermission, you can do so by clicking on the link that will appear in the chat. I think it's a PayPal link and also a direct debit link. And also you can go to our website. So that's done and out of the way. So without further ado, we're gonna dive straight back in with our next performance. And that is coming from Ayo. And Ayo is a graduate of Intermission. He joined us back in 2017, 18, oh, even earlier than that, actually. I'm stand corrected. I think it was about 2016. And of lockdown, Ayo said that it's been difficult, but he's been trying to keep himself motivated by just throwing himself into different things. But he's enjoying the time that he is spending with his family. So that's brilliant to hear. Ayo is going to be doing a speech from Midsummer Night's Dream, and he'll be playing the character of Puck, the mischievous Puck. So before we get into Ayo's performance, I'll just put the speech into context. So an argument breaks out in the fairy kingdom between the king and queen of the fairies, Oberon and Titania. Oberon's servant Puck, a mischievous spirit, notorious for his pranks and jests, bumps into one of Titania's fairy servants and decides to tell her about all these pranks and what he likes to do, which he shouldn't be doing. So Ayo, when you're ready, sir.
Thou speakest, I am the merry wonder of the night. I just to Oberon and make him smile, while I, a fat, being fed off the eye. Naying in lightness of a filly foal, sometimes lurk I in a gossip's bowl. Naying in lightness of a filly foal, and sometimes, can I start that again, please? I'll speak it, all right?
Yeah, no worries. Ayo, you can start again if you want. That's absolutely fine, sir. You want to just prep yourself again?
Yeah.
Take your time, man. Don't sweat it at all. This is your time, your space. Yeah, enjoy Puck.
Thou speakest, all right? Why do I? Thou speakest, all right? I am the merry wonder of the night. I jest to Oberon and make him smile, while I, fat, being fed horse beguile, neighing in lightness of a filly foal, and sometimes like I in the gossip's bowl, in very lightness of a roasted crab, and when she drinks, against her lips I bob, and on her with a dewlap pour the ale. The wisest aunt telling the saddest a tale. And when 3-foot stool mistaketh me, slipped from her bum down toppled she. Down toppled she. And Taylor cried. Man, shoot. One more time, just one more time. Loudspeakers, all right? I am that merry wonder of the night. I jest to Oberon and make him smile. While I, a fat and bean-fed horse begat, laying in the likeness of a filly bowl. And sometimes lurk I in a gossip's bowl, in the very likeness of a roasted crab. And when she drinks, against her lips I bob, and on her with a dewlap pour the ale. The wisest aunt telling the saddest a tale. Sometime for 3-foot stool mistaketh me, then slip I from her bum down toppled sheet. And Taylor cries and falls into a cough. And then the whole choir hold their hips and laugh. And waxing in their mirth and knees and swear, merry hour was never wasted there. But Moon Fairy, here comes Oberon.
Cheers, Ayo. Brilliant, man. Hey, that smile says a million things, man. You've got a brilliant smile, sir. Ayo, listen, well done, man. Listen, I've got so much admiration for you, my friend. Trust me. Me and you, we both know what you've been through recently, yeah? And for you to come here today, you know, to put yourself in front of a live audience and to do that is just amazing, sir. So my hat off to you. Honestly, I think you are an incredible young man. So well done, all right? Thanks. Well done to you. We're going to go over to the panel and we're going to get some feedback from them. Abs, I'm going to come to you for this one.
Well done. That felt so confident and charming. And I love that little cheeky smile at the end, as Darren said. Really nice approach because it felt really conniving and playful, but in a subtle way. I love the subtlety of the performance. And also you had the confidence to keep going, which, you know, in any scenario is always difficult, let alone on a live Zoom call. So hats off to you. Well done.
Well done. Well, thank you, Abigail. Jenny, how about you?
Yeah, I'm just so glad you came back and did that third time and just went all the way through. And you do have this wonderful presence and a beautiful voice and a clarity to what you're doing. And when you smile and you can see that you're enjoying it, it just totally catches one. So it's lovely.
Thanks. Papa, I'm going to come to you as well. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I really have to really underline just how much courage and bravery it takes there's no terror or fear in the world like when you forget your lines, especially when you're in front of an audience or whatever. And it takes an enormous amount of courage to just like reset yourself and start again and do it with confidence and do it with you know, purpose. And I thought you did that brilliantly. So I mean, that's the main thing that I took away. You're just like incredibly brave and courageous and you smashed it. So well done.
Brilliant. Thank you panel. Ayo, how did it feel for you, sir?
That was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you did a great job, man. I'm sure you should feel that from the great response from our panel, man. Yeah.
Thanks.
Well done. Thank you. Well done, Ayo. Lovely. All right, we're going to move on to our next performer, who is Jaspreet, or Jazz, as he likes to be called. And on lockdown, Jazz has been working from home and seeking opportunities to act and write from home, as well as helping out the family. He says COVID-19 has forced him to work and continue to act and seek out opportunities and to develop his career as an actor and writer. On the Monologue Slam, he says the experience has been great. He's had the opportunity to work with different directors because we've been teaming up with great practitioners from the RSC and also friends who have been really generous in helping our young people prepare for this evening. And he also says the research part of this, developing the character, he's really enjoyed, and he can't wait to show his work, which he's going to do now. So we're going to go and visit Jazz in his space. And he is playing the character of Edmund from King Lear. And I'll just put the speech into context for you. The illegitimate Edmund will arguably do anything he can to achieve his goals. Here we meet him scheming for the recognition denied to him by his status as a bastard son. So we'll hand over to Edmund.
Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me? For that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lack of a brother. Why, bastard. Wherefore base, when my dimensions are as well compact, my mind as generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue, why brand they us with base, with baseness, with bastardy, base, base? Who, in the lusty stealth of nature, take more composition and fierce quality than doth within a dull, stale, tired bed go to the creating a whole tribe of fops. Got between sleep and wake. Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Fine word, legitimate. Well then, my legitimate, if this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper. Now, gods, stand up for bastards.
My daughter just fixing the view in the background. Jazz, mate, remind me never to cross you, yeah? That was, I mean, that, for me, that was absolutely amazing. I'm going to go over and see what the panel think. I'm going to go to you, Papa, because you've played Edmund, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, mate, you got it, man. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Really, really, really kind of like dripping with menace, which I say as a compliment as opposed to a judgment, right? You had a real control over what you were doing, and like that speech is really difficult because a lot of people do it, you know, and it's kind of like to be or not to be. It's difficult to do it and make it feel like your own, but you really did it. You owned it. You took your time. And you let the ideas properly land and you let them be different from each other. So I thought you did a really, really fantastic job with that. So well done, mate.
Thank you so much.
Yes, well done, well done. Anybody from the panel want to add to that? Abs? Yeah? Abigail, just, yeah, cool.
Yeah, absolutely smashed it. I think as well, you know, doing this over video is tricky. I mean, because it's not even like the same as a self-tape. It's just how do you engage? But I really felt like you connected with us, and you made very like delicate choices about like when to look to the camera, and they all felt really considered and really truthful. And obviously Darren mentioned the character work that you put into it, which I think really paid off because it just felt truthful and it felt like you. So great job.
Thank you.
Jazz. And Jazz, you got anything you'd like to ask the panel, or how did that feel for you?
No, that felt really great, and thank you so much for your comments. I really appreciate them. And yeah, I'm a big fan of all you guys. But anyway, enough of that. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like,
very honest.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed like I said before, like kind of looking into the character, and I really connected with Edmund in a way I haven't with a lot of other characters I've done monologues for. So yeah, I just really thought that I could kind of hear myself speaking those words when I first read it. So yeah, I really enjoyed performing it. So yeah.
Well done, Jazz. Thanks you very much, man. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, our next performer is Sean. And Sean is a current member of the youth theatre. And on lockdown, she has had to stop going to her performing arts college. So currently not doing anything and looking for work. She says COVID-19 has affected her last year of performing arts course and her work. But she says her experience during lockdown, it's been all right. She really enjoyed being directed by different practitioners, and it was even better because she's worked with some of these practitioners before, so it was good to kind of extend that work with them. So that's brilliant to hear. Sean is going to be performing Juliet from that iconic play Romeo and Juliet. So we're going to go and visit Sean in her space, and I'll just put the speech into context. So Juliet is conflicted after learning that her boyfriend in this scenario, she loves, has murdered her cousin.
Shall I speak ill of him? That is my husband. Oh, poor my lord. What tongue shall smooth thy name? When I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it. Wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? But that villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears. Back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt is dead that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Some word there was worse than Tybalt's death that murdered me, I would forget it fain. But it presses to my memory like damn guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo vanished. Banished. That one word banished have slain 10,000 Tybalt. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there. Or if sour were delights and fellowships and needly will be ranked with other griefs. Why followed not? When she said Tybalt is dead. Thy father or thy mother, nay or both, which more the lamentations might have moved. But with the rear ward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure, bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father, nurse?
Thank you, Sean. Thank you very much. Brilliant, amazing. Tough speech. Emotionally draining, I'd imagine. Thought you handled it very, very well. Let's go over to the panel and get some feedback. Jenny, I'm going to come to you. Have you ever played Juliet before, Jenny?
No, I haven't.
There's still time.
Yeah, no. They could change the whole age range, I suppose. It's a wonderful role, and it requires just investing yourself as you did so entirely in the emotional element of it. I mean, she's so young, and it's really generous of you to show your emotions in that way and to use the lines to be able to express them, which you did, and that's lovely. So thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Papa, Can I ask you for some feedback on that performance from Sean?
Yeah, well, really well done. I thought that was fantastic. You know what? You've got like such brilliant instincts. You've got fantastic instincts and fantastic understanding of the text. Like, I completely believe that you knew what you were talking about all the way through. And yeah, I believe that you were invested in what you were saying. My one little hint or suggestion would be to sometimes just like beware of playing the state of a scene rather than the situation of the scene. So like, obviously there are lines in this scene where she talks about back foolish tears and blah, blah, so we know she's crying, and therefore we kind of get lulled into this idea that it has to be sad or it has to be stressed or whatever. But like, it is a moment to moment speech. So in some moments she'll be a certain way, and in some moments she'll be a certain other way. And it will really help you navigate your way through the speech if you just play it moment by moment and play the situation rather than the state. And you're really in a position to do that because you've got such fantastic control and understanding of the text. This is another level up. So that will just like add further nuance and dynamism to your work. But generally, really fantastic.
Brilliant. Thank you. Cheers. Sean, do you have anything you'd like to ask the panel, or how did that feel for you?
Yeah, it was good. It was different. I don't think I've ever performed a monologue over the phone. So I feel like it's a different experience, but I enjoyed it. I started to, I feel like just before when Jas's performance was on, I felt like that rush, like of me like getting on stage, like that's how it felt.
Oh wow, cool.
But other than that, like, yeah, it was fun having to put my mind to the craft, you know?
Yeah. Well, you did amazing. So well done. There's great comments from the panel as well. So you should be very proud. Well done.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, Sean. All right. So we're going to move on to our final performance of the evening, sadly. But we will be back tomorrow with another 8. So if you're not doing anything, which is a high probability, please do join us tomorrow for our next 8 performers. So our next performer is Natasha, and Natasha is a graduate. She was with us back in 2017. During lockdown, she is mummy on maternity from her job to a lovely, beautiful, gorgeous little girl. And she's auditioning and cooking. She says her experience during quarantine feels like extended maternity. It's made her tired of being indoors, but she is grateful that it's provided a much needed chance to be introspective and discern and develop her relationship with God. Amen. And it's been a blessing in disguise. Her experience of getting ready and prepared for today is interesting, fun and good. It's been great dissecting Shakespeare and reviving it. It's been fun trying to do it with a 9-month-old baby. Also a great way to stay sharp and submerged in the craft and push myself, says Natasha. So Natasha is going to be playing Lady Macbeth from Macbeth. So we'll just put the speech into context. Lady Macbeth questions her husband's manhood when he becomes indecisive about committing a murder. Over to Lady Macbeth.
Was the Hope drunk? Was the Hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale like what it once did so freely? Huh? From such time I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem the ornament in life, and live a coward in thine own esteem? Yeah, letting, I dare not, wait upon I like the poor cat in the adage. What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more a man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now doth unmake you. I have given suck and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milk me. I would, whilst it smiled in my face, pluck my nipple from its boneless gum and dash the brains out, had I so sworn to this as you have. Get it done.
Yes, sir. I'll definitely get it done. Oh, Natasha.
Hi.
Brilliant, man. Fantastic. Well done. You know what I think of you already. I think you're such a natural performer, man. And I know that you struggled to find that, well, when we was rehearsing it, that last bit with, you know, the image of the baby, because you and your mum. So you're like, Dee, I just can't. I don't know what you did, but you did something, girl, and you found it. That was amazing. Anyway, let's go to the panel and hear what they've got to say. Abigail, I'm going to come to you first. How was that for you?
Okay, bad girl. Okay. Get it? First of all, fantastic choice. Obviously, so like I've acted alongside Tash before, so you know, I feel like I understand, you know, you as an actor, and that was absolutely spot on, and really dynamic as well. I love the choices, especially the ending. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get it done. I'm certainly gonna listen to her, like Darren said. And yeah, and I just think it really demonstrated your range, and it was just, it was so natural. So yeah, well done.
Thanks, sis. You're killing it. Love you.
You're killing it.
Wow. Jenny, how was that for you?
No, it was just, it's scary. It was scary because you're so beautiful, and you used your beauty and your sexuality to get at your husband. And just make him feel, I mean, you're just demasculating him. If he doesn't get on with what he's doing, he just is nothing. And you used the speech beautifully to do that. And you felt that you really, you know, you're a mother, but yes, if you had that baby and you had said, you just would do what you said you were going to do.
But
it felt real.
Thank you for the feedback. Appreciate it.
Papa, you'd like to just say a few words on that?
Yeah, obviously fantastic. Completely get it done. Jesus, that was chilling. I was shook. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I think you're fantastically talented, and like you've got a real ability to be unpredictable with the language, which is great. Like it's not the kind of like standard choices you make. Especially that line where you said, "What beast was then that made you break that enterprise?" To me, like you had a kind of like, you really asked that question, and it surprised me the way that you asked it with a smile or whatever, and then undercut that. That's what we do in real life, you know. We never speak speeches as if we've already prepared them. It's always kind of like spontaneous, and it's informed by what we're feeling or thinking in the moment. And you've got a real talent for doing that. So fantastic work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wicked. Well done, Tash. Have you got anything you want to say to the judges, or anything you want judges? Sorry, what's this? X Factor? The panel? Anything to say to the panel?
We're learning a lot.
Thank you so much for the feedback. All of the panelists are inspirational, so I appreciate the fact that you guys are partaking and encouraging and everything else. Darren is right. That I struggled with that, and again, Darren is like my favorite person in the world because I think he's just amazing. I'm joking, not joking. But no, honestly, even as Abs knows, when we did it beforehand, we did Luciana for a piece that we were in, I found it very difficult to connect to what was being said because there's such a language barrier sometimes. So I think it's being able to, what I love about Shakespeare is being able to like strip it down and understand the essence of what's being said. So it's like, that line that you mentioned, Papa, it was literally a case of, all right, cool, so who was actually the person that made you say that? And then it's that thing of, wait, take that, freeze frame that, put the Shakespeare on top, and then it makes way more sense. So yeah, I'm grateful for all of the stuff that Intermission have done for me. I didn't get it by myself. So thank you, guys.
Well done. Amazing.
Really
well done.
Great.
Well, that was the final performance of the evening, guys. We have been truly spoiled out, I think, amazing from start to finish. So I think you can all join us in giving our actors a huge and massive round of applause, even though we won't be able to hear it. Let's make noise like we do for the NHS because I thought they were amazing. Yeah, blup, 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 rap, rap, rap. Yeah, yeah. Papa's doing the bogle. Lovely. We love that. Cool. So we're going to move on to questions that you, our lovely audience, have been asking throughout the show. We're also live on YouTube. I can't see it at the moment, but apparently the comment box has been going crazy with some really uplifting comments from people that have been tuning in and watching it, saying how amazing it's been and how uplifting it's been for people to tune in and watch it. So that's really encouraging to know, and thank you for your comments. Claire, who you don't know, is our community manager, and she has been kind of controlling the back end stuff. So I'm just going to give a message to Claire if she can just promote our great friend and supporter Mark Rylance up into the panel, because we do have a couple of questions for him. But while that's happening, I'm going to kick off with some questions for the panel. So this question is from Wendy, and she said, I would like to ask the panel and performers, well, performers may not be able to answer this, but panel certainly, what makes them want to share and connect with people through Shakespeare? Big question, but perhaps it has a simple answer. So what makes you want to connect with people through Shakespeare specifically? Jenny, I'm going to come to you because you look like you have an answer in your eyes.
I just feel that he comes right out of time. He doesn't, because he doesn't comment on people. He just, the observations are correct about the way people are, the emotions they feel, and what people do. You can connect with it, because I think through time, society changes, frameworks change, the way that we do things may change, but people don't fundamentally change. And so what he draws on is something that we still feel today, and it's still entirely relevant. So once you've unlocked, which you really managed to do that with the kids that you're working with, once you've unlocked those keys that get you into the imagery and the ideas of what that language is about, it totally relates to the way you feel. And I think that's why one wants to do it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jenny. Okay, another question we've got here is from Matt. And Matt says, to all the panelists, if you could give some words of encouragement to these young, amazing actors, particularly during these uncertain times, what would you say? So words of encouragement, what would you say? Abigail, I'm going to come to you for this.
Is that specifically to intermissions actors?
Well, it says, yeah, it says to these young, amazing actors. So let's go with intermission actors.
Well, firstly, you're in the greatest of hands with intermission. So I feel like it's always just nice to knowing that someone and, something has your back. And I feel like anyone who knows intermission knows that intermission is such a family. So I would just really, it's a hard time for everyone. It's hard to offer kind of blanket advice and support, because I feel like everyone has different needs at this time. But I would say just lean into your family and, use the resources at your disposal. And if you want to push yourself as an actor right now, then absolutely go for it, because I know that you've been shared loads of amazing stuff from the intermission team. If you feel like you need to take a break or whatever and work on you, do that too. Do you know what I mean? It's a time for everyone to do what they need to do to get themselves right.
Brilliant words. Thank you, Abigail, for that. The next question is for you, Papa, from Indy, who is my daughter. And she says, Papa, did you ever think of giving up as an actor? And if the answer is yes, how did you overcome it?
Every single day, mate. Yeah, obviously, being a performer, I guess, is a really unsafe, I guess, or brittle profession to be in. So sometimes you do feel why do we put ourselves through this kind of psychological warfare to do what we love? But I think for me, I feel very fortunate to be working in a craft of something that I do genuinely love. I love doing it, and it feeds my soul as well as it feeds my mind and my body. So I guess I haven't been doing it for that long, so I haven't got to the point of no return just yet. But I feel very fortunate to do what I do and to be fed in the way that I'm fed. So yeah, I think in terms of if you find yourself in position where you feel like you can give up. Number one, that's okay. Everyone goes through that. And everyone feels that. And also, it's not the be all and end all. You don't have to do it. And if you do want to take a break from it, you can come back to it. You know, it's something that you can do all the way through your life. So don't beat yourself up, I'd say.
Brilliant. Good words, good encouraging words. Thank you. Thank you, Papa. Okay, we've got another question here. And it is from Oscar. I'd love to, oh, this is for Mark. Have we got Mark on the panel?
Yeah, I'm here, Darren.
Oh, wonderful. Mark, this is for you. Oscar's asked, I'd love to ask Mark, who is my favourite Shakespearean actor of all time. Has he seen you act? What is it about these... what is it about these incredible actors and young people that inspires you? That's from Oscar, Mark.
The bravery of it, as all our wonderful panelists have been saying tonight, with such insightful and encouraging words, yourself included, Darren, such wonderful responses. But the courage of anyone expressing themselves, trying to reach into themselves and find something truthful and then share it with other people. Particularly when you're on your own and you're just looking, as I am now, at a little black hole on a camera, on a computer, to really make the effort to imagine another person whom you're speaking with. Because certainly I feel when I'm acting at my best, I'm properly finding what to say and how to say it by looking and listening at the person I'm speaking with. If I'm not doing that, I'm just kind of entertaining myself and interested in myself. So to do that when you're on your own, just with the computer, is incredibly difficult. And these young people just were amazing tonight. I was so inspired and learned so much listening to them. But I think it's really a question of connecting with who you're speaking with, connecting with yourself, connecting them with the audience. And then this really interesting thing of connecting with the present moment, which our panelists have been speaking about too, about that feeling of being spontaneous and real, and as I'm doing now, finding the words to express what you're trying to express as you are expressing it. And so the audience has no idea that anything was written down or has been spoken by anyone else previously. And I just saw that time and again tonight, how challenging that is and how wonderful it is when we find it. And no one finds it all the time, you know, no one finds it all the time. It comes and goes. And I agree with what Papa was just saying. You know, you can step back and come back into things in the theater without losing anything. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Amazing answer. Okay, we've got another question here. This is for Jenny, and it's from Tasha. She has asked, have you always loved Shakespeare? And I'm aware you've been working with Intermission recently on devising The Tempest, a version of The Tempest. Does Intermission make you love Shakespeare even more? So have you always loved Shakespeare, and has Intermission helped you love it even more? Jenny.
Well, I can certainly start by saying working with Intermission has made me love it very much more. And to begin with, no, I was not, I think like most people, I studied it at school, it seemed very, very dry, and I didn't get any of it. There were no keys, there was nothing being opened for me. And then I saw a production of Antony and Cleopatra, and suddenly I rushed back to look at the text because I heard words said on stage and I saw and felt things that I had never really thought could be expressed. And that was the first time I really thought it was an extraordinary language to work with. And it has been inspirational working with Intermission Youth, because the ideas and the people pulling, working with the text, finding things through the text, it just is very exciting, and it just makes me feel again, this is, it's a journey of discovery. When you come to it afresh every time, I think it's really interesting. That language you can listen to again and again. Someone can bring something else to it each time. It's never stale because it's always filled with someone's new life.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jenny. Abby, I've got a question for you. Has tonight made you even more proud to be a graduate of Intermission?
I don't think I could be more proud. I don't think I possibly could be more proud. But you know, as I keep saying to everyone at Intermission, I genuinely miss everyone so much. So this has made me feel really connected to everyone, which has been just so lovely. And I just think, you know, hats off to Darren and everyone at Intermission for finding, you know, creative ways to continue making work and continue engaging throughout this time. And I just can't wait to be back in the room with you all. But honestly, couldn't be more proud, because the work that happens at Intermission is just, it's unmatched. And it's not just about, you know, not that, you know, performances has any limitations, but it's so much more than, you know, it's so much more than the act of the performance, because it's a community and it really just propels everyone who touches it and transforms lives. So I couldn't be prouder. All the love.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry, girl. Thank you. All right, this next question is a bit of a toughie. I'm gonna ask it anyway, because that's what they're there for. How can, this is to anyone on the panel, how can we ensure the future of theatre during these unprecedented times?
Government funding.
Yeah. Any extension on that, guys? I mean, I suppose it's a tough question.
It is a matter of supporting the theatres that one has supported, knowing that they're going to come back. I think theatre, it is lovely to have a live performance. And tonight feels in many ways like a live performance. But by the same token, we are still all in our separate places. And there's a different feeling when you're with a crowd of people. And that will never, I think, we don't want to ever lose that. So, you know, whatever people can do to help their community theatres, to help the theatres that they go to, and that, you know, that the theatres are out there trying to do different things to keep people's attention, to make it possible to watch on YouTube and all of that. And like tonight, you realise, you know, how special drama can be.
I really do think, though, you know, the love of and the love for theatre and the hunger to make and people wanting to tell their stories, that's not going to go. I think that the future of theatre really is a financial issue. And so, you know, as Jenny says, you know, supporting your theatres, but also applying pressure to the government to ensure that theatres are supported, because that's what this is going to come down to. It's going to come down to, can we afford to keep going?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. A couple more questions here. I'd be curious to know what advice the panel would give for practicing acting in lockdown, or having to practice alone for whatever reason.
It's a hard one, because as Mark said, you get a lot back from the person that you're acting with, and acting alone is very, very hard. You can do all sorts of exercises vocally, but it's not like a musician. It's not quite the same. You know, doing monologues completely alone without getting feedback is hard. It's really hard. What do you think, Pepper?
I kind of think that, yeah, of course, it's really difficult to, I suppose, perform in these kind of situations. But I think we all know that acting's about more than that. It's about humanity. It's about human condition. It's about life, and it's about living, you know? So like, there's a lot of living to be done in these kind of circumstances, and there's a lot of taking in, and that all, I think that all affects the way that you perform once you get given the opportunity. It's not just the doing that kind of like helps you improve as an actor. It's how much you listen, it's how much you see, it's how much you receive, it's how much you share, you know? So like, it's a real opportunity to do that at these times. And also like, in terms of like, I mean, it's work to like watch a film, you know, or watch a TV program, or even one of the live streams of like plays that are on. That's work, and that's observing actors kind of like exhibiting their craft in that situation. So there's lots you can still do, but I don't think it's necessarily about putting pressure on yourself to be like, I need to learn 10 poems a week, or I need to learn this number of Shakespeare speeches or whatever. It's about kind of like having an openness to the world around you, I'd say.
Sound advice. Thank you. It's really helpful. Mark, another question for you. I heard Darren at the start say that you are now a trustee of Intermission. I can see why you would support this work. However, what makes you support it so strongly? Have we got Mark? Was Mark frozen there? Looks like he is. Okay, we'll go. Oh no, he's back. Did you hear the question, Mark? Should I repeat it?
I think I did. I'm coming in and I'm sorry, the internet's not so good maybe here. I'm coming in and out. But it was about what to do in this during this time. Is that right? Advice? No,
so it's a different question for you particularly. It says, I heard Darren at the start say that you are now a trustee of Intermission. I can see why you would support this work. However, what makes you support it so strongly?
Because I've been so moved and laughed so much. I've wept. I've just been so affected by the performances. I'm also particularly inspired by Darren, like a lot of the young people have been saying, and by Nana, Darren's assistant. I think the two of you guys have got remarkable gifts of leadership, and I think authentic leaders in this world. When I find authentic leaders, I want to watch them and I want to see them because there's a lot of inauthentic ones out there, aren't there? So I like being around the energy. I don't know many theatre companies that have a shared spiritual belief, investment that's collective, that's inclusive. And I find that energy is very, very fiery and there's a lot of light to it. I love also the marriage of, I don't find that the young people are suppressing their own culture to somehow go to where Shakespeare is. I feel they're bringing Shakespeare to themselves and they're making Shakespeare their own. And to me, that's what each of us has to do as performers. Each of us is unique, and Shakespeare would want us to be.
I think we've lost Mark there, but I think we get the gist of what he was saying. I think he's incredibly supportive of this work and is really inspired by the young people. And he is a very active and generous supporter. In fact, this evening would not be possible without Mark's generosity. So all of the performers are going to receive a gift for their incredible contribution. And that was the idea of Mark, because he just felt that they would need some kind of incentive and motivation, and it would be nice for him to offer them something during this time. So we're incredibly grateful to Mark for all the support that he offers to Intermission. As I said, he's incredibly supportive, not only to the young people, but also to me as a mentor as well. He's somebody that I can always kind of just pick up the phone and call when I need to. And as you heard tonight, his responses do offer a lot of encouragement. So thank you, my friend.
Back again. Sorry about that.
You're back again. We were just talking really bad about you, so it's a good thing that you missed that, actually.
Did you hear anything of what I said?
Yeah, we did. We caught most of it. Yeah, amazing. Thank you. All right, so that kind of, we're at a good time in now. So we're 9 o'clock, so we're going to wrap up. But before we do that, there's a few thank yous that we would like to give out. And then I want to introduce you our Executive Director, Sue Radford, who's just going to say a couple of words. But as you know, in any performance, theatre, it takes an incredible effort from a lot of people. And this is no exception. We have an amazing team here at Intermission who have worked incredibly hard to get this up and running. None of us are kind of used to this platform, but we've all chipped in and we've all mucked in to kind of understand how it works and to make sure that we can we created a platform that the young people felt safe to come on and share something of themselves. So I'd just like to thank our team. Sue, who is our Executive Director, who you hear from in a moment, has been working very hard behind the scenes, and so we thank her. We also thank Claire, as I said, our community manager, and she basically spearheaded this, kind of ran with the project and got it all together and is very tenacious. So we thank you, Claire, for that. And we've also got Nana, who you heard Mark mention, and Nana is my assistant artistic director, and couldn't do this without him either. You know, we're like, no, I won't say that. We're great friends, but he's amazing, and he's a great mentor to the young people, as I'm sure they'll all agree. And then we also have Cecilia, our producer, again, who's mucked in and has been fantastic and has been keeping an eye on all the questions that have been coming in, and there's been lots of questions. Sorry we couldn't get them all answered, but I hope we answered as much as we can and that you're satisfied with that. So thank you, C. And finally, Leela, who is our administrator, has been brilliant. She's taken on a huge responsibility during this time. And it's just incredible how people have just been so willing to adapt their roles and responsibilities and, you know, help the cause and the mission, which is our young people and, you know, their well-being. And so we thank all the team for that. There's also been great help from industry professionals, as I said earlier. So we've had partners from the RSC coming in and helping our young people with their monologues. Ollie Lyons, who has been brilliant and done some great stuff with our young people. And we also had Philip Pereira, who's a friend of ours, a great actor who's done some amazing work as well with our young people. And also Karen, is it? I'm sure we had Karen as well, yeah, who's been brilliant. Also given to us by the RSC, and she's been working with our young people. So they've been really, really, really privileged and spoiled and blessed to have all these amazing people come in and work with them. So we're grateful for that. So I'm going to introduce Sue to you now. Oh, before I do that, there's one more person, and they do come as a one, but I want to mention them. As you know, Mark is a trustee and newly appointed, and we also have another newly appointed trustee on our board, and that is the founder of Intermission, Rob Gillian. And I know he's in the house or in his house tonight with his wife, who also founded Intermission, Janine Gillian, and we're so happy to have them back in the fold. It just seems like God is blessing this work in all the amazing ways conceivable. So Rob and Janine, great to have you in the house and hope you enjoyed the show. Sue.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Darren. And we also have in the house Danny Sapani, who's another of our new trustees, which is really exciting as we go forward. And also a shout out to Katie. Katie, thank you for helping us with some of our young people prep for their speeches and their monologues. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight for the first of our monologue slams. So we hope you'll come back tomorrow at 7:30. As Darren said at the beginning, Intermission Youth is about transforming the lives of young people. And as you've seen tonight, we do that through theatre and the power of drama. There's also a lot of mentoring and one-to-one support, a huge amount that goes on behind the scenes. And we also offer life skills coaching too, helping young people to become better versions of themselves. And support for young people is even more urgent and critical at this time during the pandemic and lockdown. And I don't know if you've been reading any of the research that's been coming out about 18 to 25-year-olds, but at the moment, at this particular time, young people, and you've heard from some of our young people tonight, they're feeling anxious, they're feeling isolated. It's really hard to keep motivated, and some real concerns and fears for the future. And although we've had to halt our community engagement program, we always felt it was critical to help support our young people, our current cohort, and also our graduates through the work that we do. We're also concerned about the future. What's it going to be like coming out of lockdown, reintegrating into society and into community? And we think there's going to be a real need for the kind of work that we do for our current young people, but also we know there are hundreds of other young people who would value the work that we do. Now, Intermission Youth, we don't get any government funding. We're wholly reliant on the generosity of our donors and supporters and trusts. And at this stage, I want to do a huge shout out to the Golden Bottle Trust. Alexander Hall, I know you're watching tonight. We thank you and the trustees for that. And also the Bishop Radford Trust. And so my question to you is, would you consider being part of the Intermission family and join us in this vital work? There are a number of ways that you can do that. You can join our mailing list. There'll be details coming up on the chat, I think it is, with various links, and we'll send you some tomorrow morning too. But through our newsletter, we give you monthly updates and invite you to various things that are going on. We've got quite a good thing coming up in July, which we'd love to see you at. And of course, we would love your financial support. So there are various ways that you can pay. You can pay through PayPal, through online banking, and through debit and credit card. And again, there are details on your screen. So please would you consider becoming part of the Intermission Youth family and keeping this incredible work going forward. You've seen the quality of our wonderful young people, both their personalities, their commitment and their talent. Please help us keep it going. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sue. And just finally, another big thank you to all of our amazing performers, our young people, and of course to our fabulous panel, Jenny, Abigail, and Papa. Thank you very much for your generosity and wise words and encouragement to our young people. That's it from Intermission Youth. So good night and God bless.
Here's what I found.
Fabulous.
Intermission Youth was set up in 2008 by Rob and Janine Gillian and Darren Raymond. It has supported hundreds of young people from challenging backgrounds through drama and mentoring. Intermission Youth runs community programs in prisons, schools and pupil referral units. During this pandemic, we have continued to work on exciting projects with our current cohort and graduates. We appreciate our supporters helping us to continue our work. Please feel free to make a donation.
Youth Theatre Productions. Who you know remix Shakespeare like we. 20 years have I gone in travail of you, my sons. I am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks another drop. Now whatever you do, don't smile. Double trouble. Yeah, I'm out there trying to find hope. Searching high, I'm searching low. Check it, yo. I ain't another drink but IC2. I ain't another drink but ICU. Young black male that's IC3. How comes you look just like me? I ain't another drink but IC2. I ain't another drink but ICU. Young black male that's IC3. How comes you look just like me? I grew up in a household, dad no mum. It started with a shipwreck 20 years gone. We split on the main deck, something went wrong. I lost Ant, she lost Dom. My name's Ant, her name's Dom. That's two ants and two Doms. Dom's her sister, Ant's my bro. It's confusing, yes I know, but this is how the story goes. I am big street language and prose. I pack my bags and I hit them roads on a quest to find my bro. So to the end of the earth I'll go. I won't stop till I find my bro. I'll search high and I'll search low. Inside me I feel so low. Oh, I ain't another drink but IC2. I ain't another drink but ICU. Young black male that's IC3. How comes you look just like me? I ain't another drink but IC2. I ain't another drink but ICU. Young black male that's IC3. How comes you look just like me? I went through Cyprus, Greece and Turkey, but I've seen no one looking like me. I'm dark skinned, handsome, 6'3". Have you seen anyone looking like me? I'm tired, hungry, this is hopeless. I have lost myself in this quest. Note to self, don't be selfish, keep on searching.